This is episode 4, and in this episode, I talked to Jose Ortega. Jose is a gay person, a wonderful human. Jose has taken his differences to make him better every day. He has an amazing attitude towards life and people. He's respectful, outgoing, fun, kind, and loving. He didn't encounter much struggle, though, but many of his friends did. Times have changed, and there has been much progress, but I believe there's still a lot to learn from the LGBTQ individuals. The new laws, organizations, and many movements have opened up numerous rights that were prohibited 100 years ago. I hope in this new decade we continue to move forward in peace and in unity. Hello, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing awesome, thank you. So, my dear friend, tell me a little bit about you. Tell us who you are for the audience.
Okay. My name is Jose Ortega. I am Mexican American. I was born in Mexico in Nuevo Laredo, Tamaulipas. I'm sorry, my Hispanic accent gets to me every once in a while. And at the age of 2 years old, my parents immigrated to the United States. We lived in Laredo, Texas for 1 year, and then we came to Houston when I was 3 years old, and I have been living in Houston ever since.
Oh, okay.
So I consider myself a Houston native.
Okay, okay. That's awesome. And you are a
I am a 52-year-old gay male.
okay, so you're a gay male. I just want to make sure that I say the right word. Okay, perfect. So, Jose, my first question is going to be, you were born as a male, right?
Yes.
And then when did you realize there was something different? How did that happen?
I think I've always known that I was different. I didn't know the exact terminology for it, but I always knew what my attractions were, and I always knew what I liked. But as far as identifying as a gay male, I didn't until I was old enough to understand what the word actually meant.
Okay.
Before then, like I said, I just was a quote unquote normal little boy that had feminine tendencies.
Okay. Did you ever like girls?
No, I never did. I admire girls to this day. I admire women. I When I was a kid, I would see a little girl and I would say, "Oh, she's pretty," or her dress is
But
pretty.
you were never attracted to them.
I was never attracted, but then I don't think that I was attracted to little boys
Either.
up until a certain age as well.
Okay.
So I didn't, when I was a kid, I didn't, it wasn't, being gay wasn't an attraction towards male or female. It was just being different
Okay.
to
At
me.
what age did you realize that you were gay?
When did I start having attraction towards the same sex? I think it was when I was in junior high school.
Okay.
I guess in elementary I had a lot of friends. So I had female and male friends, and I don't think I was quote unquote attracted to them. I was a kid, but as I got older into my junior high and high school years, that's when I started having attraction towards males.
How did that make you feel? Do you think it was right, it was wrong, or what do you think?
It made me feel wonderful.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, I felt it, and I felt wonderful feeling it. So I didn't think it was right or wrong. It was just me.
Right, right. That's a great feeling. Pretty awesome.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yes.
You don't feel the fighting inside and it's wrong, it's right, and you cry and you don't know what's happening. You just feel great
Yes.
because that's who you are.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, okay. So whenever you were much older and you realized that you like, your same sex, did you talk to somebody? Who was the first person that you told?
I think okay, let's go back a little bit. So when I was in junior high school, I started, actually in elementary, I started taking ballet lessons,
Okay.
dance classes.
Okay.
So at that age, later on, when I got to junior high school, I started having other uh, dance members that were male, and I was starting to get attracted to them, or I was attracted to them.
Okay.
I just said the same thing twice, but by the
That's
way,
fine.
but that's when I started, you know, real noticing that I was attracted to the males and not the females.
Okay.
Um, and yeah, that's it.
So did you tell anybody?
No, I didn't because it was. I didn't think it was something to tell. I mean, I just felt it and I lived it, and that was it. I didn't. I had my friends that I would talk to, um, but as far as telling somebody, I didn't feel like a need to actually tell anybody.
Okay. And what about your parents?
No, my parents, I didn't tell them anything. I mean, my parents, and in their eyes, I was just a kid, you know. So they never asked me any questions, and so I never really, said
Did
anything.
they see something different in you?
I'm pretty sure they did. I'm pretty sure they did. I was, as growing up as a little boy, I was very feminine.
Okay.
Um, I used to play with my sister and my brother. I have one sister and one brother. They're both younger than me. My sister's 2 years younger and my brother's 4 years younger. So I had both parts of both great worlds. When I would play with my sister, I would play, comadres with her.
Yeah.
When I played with my brother, I would play with his trucks, and cars. Personally, I was more attracted to going into my mom's closet and putting on her dresses and her
Wow,
shoes.
yeah.
But
So it was a conversation that never went on in your home?
no, because my sister, growing up with my sister and my brother, I think to us it was normal because we're so close together.
Okay.
So it was normal before we realized that it wasn't normal, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So as far as my parents go, as long as, me and my sister and brother were happy doing whatever it was that we did, they were happy.
Yeah, okay. So do you give any advice? Because I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that have this difficulty in telling their parents, and they don't know how to express and how to talk to them. And sometimes whenever they tell them what's happening, what's going on, the parents react in a way that probably the person wasn't expecting. Well, what do you think about that?
I can only speak from personal experience.
Okay.
And first of all, whenever somebody, a gay person, lesbian, or queer, comes out to their parents, let's say, when you come out to your parents, you have to be prepared to witness any type of, how can I say, you're you have to be prepared to accept whatever it is they throw at you.
Okay.
Okay, so if your parents react a certain way, you have to understand that it is their right to react that way because they don't fully understand. Whether it's a good way or a bad way or a sad way or whatever way they react, your parents, you have to expect or be prepared for the unexpected.
Okay.
everybody has a right to feel the way they do. Everybody, as a parent, I believe that you bring a child into this world, and you sort of have it figured out for them the way their life is going to be, but it's never like that. Um, their parent, I think as a parent, I'm not a parent myself, but I think that as a parent, if I put myself in their shoes, um, we have certain ideas of what my child or that child is going to be like. And it's not like that all the time. So because I have, or the parents have that expectation, then that's where the conflict comes in of
Yeah.
the reaction when a gay person comes out to them.
Yeah.
But I will say this, it's up to the person giving the information about themselves. I think it's their duty more than anything to help their parents understand them. I think if you take it on with that approach, then things will go a little bit smoother.
Okay. Yeah, because you're right. Even like you call us straight parents, we also have kind of like the life of what we want our child to continue to do. And no, it's really the child what they decide and what choice they have in life to continue with their future. Sometimes we want them to be a certain to have a certain career, and it doesn't happen like that.
Expectations,
Yes,
yes.
we do.
Well, we
Yeah.
all have expectations about a lot of things, but the funny thing about expectations is they never work out the way
Ain't
you
that the
expect
truth?
them to
Ain't
work
that
out.
the truth? So let me ask you. So talking about the parent and how a a homosexual or a gay person will tell them. Do you, because sometimes we want, as parents, we want them to get married and have children. A lot of parents, I mean, I'm a little bit different maybe into that part. I think I'm still too young. Well, I don't know. I don't know about that. But do you believe in the gay marriage?
Um, on a personal note, I, for myself, do not believe in gay marriage.
Okay, for you.
For myself.
Okay.
I have friends that are gay that have gotten married. I feel that if you choose to get married within the gay community, then that's perfect. You're right, especially now that it's legal, and I support legal gay marriage. But if you're asking me as a personal kind of thing, I don't believe in me marrying another man.
Okay.
But that's just me.
Okay. So what do you think about, okay, the marriage, and then what do you think about them adopting a child, two males adopting a child?
Again, that's like a personal thing, you know. Personally, I would not adopt any children.
Why not?
It's a big responsibility, and it's a responsibility that I wouldn't want to endure. I wouldn't want to have that responsibility. But I do know gay people that have gotten married and they um, adopt children, and if that's what they want, then that's what they should do. I support it. It's just not for me. I have something funny to say.
Okay.
Um, the meaning of the word gay is happy.
Okay. Yes, it is. Uh-huh.
And as soon as a gay man marries another gay man and adopts a couple of children, they're not happy anymore. That means they're not gay anymore.
That's funny. I see what
But
you're
I grew
saying.
up in the 70s and 80s when being gay was, living life to the fullest without, any responsibilities. So
Okay.
that's my take on that.
Yeah, that's true. And it is a lot of responsibility to raise a child. It's even, I mean, for anybody.
Yes,
It's
it
a
is.
lot of responsibility.
It is. It's a lot of
Yes.
responsibility. And just because a child is raised by two mothers or two dads does not mean their life is going to be totally turned upside down. Because in the straight community, children that grow up with a normal lifestyle, which means a mother, a father, and siblings, sometimes even those don't go so well because there's a lot of factors in one's life that, molds them and shapes them. So, the one thing that I can say that if there's enough love, whether it being two gay fathers or two lesbian mothers or a mother and a father, I think if there's love in that atmosphere of family, then I think it would be okay, fine.
Okay. So we're talking a lot about the the rights and the legal kind of sort of. You mentioned the 70s and the 80s. I think at that point the AIDS era was coming very strong, wasn't it?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I'm glad you asked me that. When I graduated high school in 1985,
Okay.
a year before graduating high school, the whole AIDS epidemic hit in 1984. If
very
I'm not mistaken, I
Around there.
might be off a year. Um, I did not have sex till I was 21. So even though I was attracted to males, I personally chose not to have sex till I was older because when the whole AIDS epidemic came up, we didn't know how to take care of ourselves.
That's true.
Now, I will say this. I was in junior high and high school with a lot of friends that were very sexually active.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, in 1984, the whole thing hit about the AIDS. And my friends that were having sex back then, I lost a lot of them when I was in my mid-20s.
Okay.
Because they didn't know how to take care of themselves. So, on a personal note, and I'm going to say that a lot on a personal note because a lot of these opinions are my opinions, not so
Right.
much everybody else's. I chose not to have sex until I was better prepared. Once you could sort of say, lived life a little bit more and did a little bit more, had a little bit more understanding of how to protect myself, that's when I decided, okay, it's all right for me to have sex and not die or
It
not
must
get
be
sick.
terrible to lose a friend and not knowing what this disease is going to do, what's
Ex-
going to happen. Is it going to be a cure?
Exactly. And like I tell everybody, my friends that did have sex back in those years, it was their choice. They wanted to, and I saw nothing wrong with that. It just wasn't for me. And my friends that have passed away, I miss them, and I missed them a lot when they first passed away. Time heals
Yes.
wounds,
Yes, of course.
but I do wonder sometimes whether if they would have made different choices, they would have still been here with me.
Yeah.
But everybody makes their own choices, and our choices leads us to different points in our lives. And the one certain thing about life to me is death. So at least I know that they're not in death. They're not suffering anymore.
I know. So talking again about the 70s, the 80s, and 90s, it's been very difficult, I think, for the gay community to be accepted even now. Even now. And I think, and you might agree with me, we, as you call us straight people, we don't understand really how to react or how to treat you. And sometimes we're mean. Have you ever been rejected, called names, and if you have, and I'm sure you have probably, how did that make you feel?
My life was a little bit different than a lot of people's lives. I didn't encounter much, if any, rejection.
What do you think it was that?
I think it was just my personality. I was always outgoing, and then I also went to schools, to art schools.
Okay.
So because I was in art schools, a lot of people in my school were gay or lesbian or bisexual or whatever. So I think it was the atmosphere itself. I've never been in a situation where I felt rejected per se or threatened in any way. But again, that's just me. I know that a lot of gay people have been in that situation. I grew up in a very loving home, with both mother and father, sister and brother. And I also grew up my family, aunts, uncles, cousins, they all accepted me the way I was. And I didn't even have to tell them. They just knew I was different, you know.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of love in my family. And I've always put myself in places where, or not so much put myself, I've had the opportunity to be in surroundings that are not judgmental or I didn't feel threatened by the people that I came in contact with, associated with.
Okay, okay. So tell me a little bit about religion. So, do you have a religion now, and what is that always been the same religion?
I don't. Okay, so when I was brought up in a Catholic home.
Okay.
Um, I don't know about now, but back in the 70s, when I was like around 4 or 5 years old, I lived in an apartment complex back in the 70s, and a church bus would come into the apartment complex and pick up all the kids and take them to church. Okay, so one day I saw all the kids getting on the bus, and I told my mom, I said, "Mom, I want to go on the bus." You know, I'm the oldest of three kids. And she's like, "Are you sure you want to go?" You know, back then, my dad has always been a truck driver. So a lot of Sundays, he wasn't there at the house to take us to church because he was working. And I guess my mother figured, well, as long as he's getting church, you know, let him go. So I got on the bus one day, and it was the best experience of my life. But it was not a Catholic bus. It was a Southern Baptist church bus.
Okay.
So the bus would take us to church, and we went to Sunday school. We spent most of the day in church, and I was the happiest little boy in the world. You know, I encountered great things. I know that a lot of people say negative things about religion, and and people judging them as far as their religion goes. As a kid, I didn't experience that. I think I saw that later on in life when I grew up, not towards myself, but towards other gay people. My religion experience, whether it be Catholic or Southern Baptist, was a great one. I will say this, when I was 5 years old, going to Sunday school, I learned a lot about the Bible.
Okay.
And about Jesus and God and everything. And they decided that they were going to baptize me.
Okay.
So in the Southern Baptist Church, it's called being saved when they baptize you, you know. So I was baptized, I was saved. And at that moment, I realized that no matter what I did, everything was going to be fine in the end.
Because he loves you.
Yes, because he loves me.
does.
Now, I will say one thing about religion. I want to express this. I believe that religion is a good thing for the most part, but people have to understand that religion and salvation are two different, totally things.
How's that?
Religion was created by man, and to this day is still dictated by man. Salvation can only be given by God. So, if you put that into perspective, you could go to any church you want to go to. You can participate in any church activity, any religion activity, but that's not what's going to save you. What's going to save you is your personal relationship that you have with God, because He's the only one that can give you salvation. So I believe more in salvation than religion.
Okay. Understood.
I'm glad.
Agreed. I the same. I mean, this is all about you, but religion is pretty sad how we have
Nowadays
made
it is.
and you know, it's pretty awesome when we understand the relationship that we have with Him. It's very different.
Exactly.
Religion is too many rules and laws and yes and no, and in my opinion, this is my opinion only, a lot of confusion, and we're lost. But without His salvation, you know, we are lost, and with Him we have it all.
Exactly.
And we learn to live a great life.
A great life, a wonderful life.
Wonderful
Whether
life.
you are, no matter what you do,
And we do things. I think we do sin, we do things wrong, or maybe we do things that he's not in agreement of what we're doing. But his love is forever. He still loves us, and then we correct it. We do the best to make it right or to not act a certain way, and then we continue.
Well, I think we all have a path in life. Your path is not going to be the same as mine. So every once in a while in our
Correct.
path, we veer off to the left or to the right, and but if we have that relationship with God or with your higher spirit, you'll get back on track. You will.
Yes.
But it's part of you growing, and I think that a lot of times when people call it sin, it's not so much sin. It's just part of your path. You have to go through that in order to have a
You're
better
right.
understanding of stuff. That way, you could get back to the path where you were supposed to go. Some people's path is short. Some people's path is longer.
Right.
So. That's what I believe. Life is life. We have to live on this earth. We have to live life to the fullest, and no matter what it is that we do, whether other people think it's right or wrong, we have to live it because it's part of our life.
Yes.
So if we live it to the fullest, get a better understanding of it, then we could go move forward,
Yeah.
and we'll end up being where we're supposed to be.
Yeah, and unfortunately, a lot, of us, and I include myself at times, we think a lot about what I did in the past, my past, and sometimes we can't even sleep, and we just have a heavy heart. And then at times we're just thinking about the future. How am I going to pay for this? How am I going to do this? And how are my children going to, survive or become what we want them to become? But we forget to live the now, the today, because in reality, that's all we
Exactly.
have.
Whatever happened in the past, you can't change it.
Exactly.
So there's no sense
You can
in
get better only.
beating yourself up for it. You have to, first of all, you have to learn how to forgive yourself. Because if you don't forgive yourself, then how could you expect anybody else to forgive you?
Exactly.
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 And moving forward, you can't think too much about the future because the future isn't guaranteed. You could worry your head off about it, but it's not guaranteed. That doesn't mean that because you worry your head off, you're going to get to it or you're going to get exactly what you want, how you want
How
it.
you want it.
So things change. Life evolves. Your life evolves as a person. So you just have to enjoy each and every day. And yes, we have responsibilities. Yes, we have bills to pay.
Yes.
Yes, we have to go to work. But that's part of life.
Yes. Based on the questions that I already asked and the information you've given me, you probably lived a more calmer or better life or more easier in a way of other gay people have had it because they probably went through a lot of struggles in telling family or themselves, them feeling probably guilty or ashamed or don't know what's going on. So have you ever at any point felt a victim out in the world?
No, I have not ever felt like a victim. Um, I don't know why that is. I just maybe it's the way I look at life. I never felt as a victim. If there was something that I needed to correct, then I would work on it to correct it. But as far as somebody no, let me go back. When I was a kid, there was, I remember a couple of occasions when, people said something negative towards me. But because of my attitude that I had towards it,
Okay.
it didn't really bother me. It didn't really affect me. I kept living my life. And I just realized that. I just realized that if you let what other people say bother you, it will affect you in a negative way. But if you don't let it bother you, then you go on and you live your life the way you see fit.
So what was your reaction to what's going on and also your perspective of what's happening? You just continue moving and being positive and
You have to.
yes.
You have to be positive. You can't be negative. You can't think about what's happened in the past. The past, like I said, is a past. I know a lot of people feel victimized for their what happened to their ancestors or what happened to the people that came before them. I know that a lot of people, but we have to get out of that victim mentality. We have to stop being victims, and only we can do that. Only we can separate our way of thinking from everybody else's. We have to. Yes, there's bad stuff happens to everybody every day on a daily basis. There's people that are going to say things about you that aren't nice. There's people that are going to be negative towards you. It's the way you look at it and the way you deal with it that makes the difference.
Okay.
Because they can sit there and point fingers at you all they want, but it's up to you as how you're going to deal with it.
So isn't it a lot of negativity out there towards you? And I'm not saying you individually, but homosexuals or gay. That then why if and I know you're a little bit different, but why is it that we're out there expressing and with the flags? Do you think that's okay? We should.
I think
Rights?
I mean, everybody has a cause, I think everybody should be proud of what they are and what they represent. I think pride is a wonderful thing. I think that you should, if you're living the life, whatever life it is, you should be proud of it, because it is your life. So yeah, I don't see anything wrong with people. We have a gay pride every year here in Houston. I take part in it. I love it. I have a lot of fun.
It's fun.
So yeah, I want to go out there and I want to support my community and I want to be, a part of everything that's going on. I don't think that's a bad thing. Now, the people that see that as something wrong, well, that's them.
That's their problem.
That's their problem. I mean, I think we as a gay community have gone through our struggles just like everybody else.
Yes.
We've lived through many difficult times,
Yeah.
The years that are in the past, we have a lot of great people in our community that did a lot of great things so that the gay community could be where they are today.
So what do you think about the before, coming back again to the 70s and 80s, like Freddie Mercury and Elton John?
Well, they're wonderful.
Aren't they?
Yeah.
We love them, don't we? Did they open up the doors for this to open up more and to have, like you say, pride and?
The thing about the movie stars or the singing stars or whatever back in those days, they weren't as open as people are nowadays, and that's understandable because of their careers.
But did that help?
I don't think that Freddie Mercury or Elton John actually said that they were gay when they first started. It was later on after they became famous.
Correct.
So it worked for them.
Yes.
Good for them. I'm not a singing star. I am not a movie star or whatever. But I think that yes, they sort of paved the way, but not totally paved the way.
Yeah.
Yes, it's easier for us to come out, out of the closet per se. That's what people say. But they didn't really pave the way for us to do that.
Yeah.
There's other important people in our community,
Okay.
that paved the way. Like I go to a gay church,
Okay.
and the pastor that formed the church, he's one of those people. He's one of those people that put gays and God and religion and everything together. So he's one of those people, and it's somebody that a lot of people haven't heard of, and I'm not going to mention his name because it's yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, there's a lot of people that have done things, for the gay community in the backdrops, in the background that we might have not heard about as as a big community, right now. But yeah, there's people like Ricky Martin, he was
Ricky
famous before
Martin.
he said he was gay, and good for him. I mean, if that's the way, I understand that people have to make a living first, so they made their living,
Right.
and then they decided to say that they were gay. So good for them.
Jose, before we started the interview, we were talking about the letters, what they meant, and I said the LGBT, and I was asking.
And I added the Q.
And you added the Q. Okay, and I'm like, oh, you're right. I think that's something that just came out.
Yeah, Q
so
is for queer.
Q is for queer. So the L is for lesbian. That's women attracted to women, their own sex.
Yes.
Okay. And so gay is
G.
The G is for gay, which is a male attracted to
Male.
another male, but it can also be a woman, right?
No. And I am not how could I say this? I am not a professional speaker, on the community. I just speak from my personal experiences.
Uh-huh.
But G stands for gay, which is basically, the way I understand it, whether you're gay, it's a male for male, gay.
Okay.
But lesbians are also considered to be gay. So
Okay, yeah, that's what I was saying. Okay.
it embodies a little bit more
Okay.
than that.
And then a gay, of course, a male and liking their own sex,
Yes,
or attracted to their own sex. And then the B is bisexual. That
Bisexual.
means that they like their own sex, and then the opposite sex.
Yes, they like
Okay.
both sexes.
And then the T, transgender,
Transgender.
which describes the change of their birth.
A transgender person is somebody who is born biologically born one sex, but chooses
To change.
to change.
Okay.
Now, I use the word chooses a little bit loosely because a lot of these people, a lot of transgender people, they feel like it's not a choice; it's something that's inside of them. So.
Okay.
I say choose very loosely. So when I say they choose to change, I use that very loosely because I don't want to offend anybody.
Okay, so talking about having your opinion towards that and not the choice and loosely. Okay, here's a big question that a lot of people ask, and I ask myself as well. Are they born or they become?
Are gay people born or
Yes.
become gay?
Yes.
I think we embody all spectrums. I mean, I think some people like myself were born different.
Okay.
I think I was, as a matter of fact, I know I was born gay. I was, ever since I was little, I knew that I was different. I just, like I said, I didn't know the correct terminology for
Okay.
it. But a lot of people, it's a choice. So we have the people that are born gay, and then we have the people that choose to be gay. And so I think we embody a whole big spectrum of everything.
Okay. So some of them are born, some of them are
They choose.
a choice.
Mhm.
A choice. Okay. Okay.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I'm pretty sure that people who choose to be gay, good for them.
And why do
Welcome.
and what's the fight? Why fighting about it? Were you born? Were you not born? I mean, what's the fight?
I think a lot of people just don't understand. I don't know what the fight is in your words. I don't think that I think that a lot of people want to know because they might want to have a better understanding of what it's like to be gay. I'm gonna say that they want to have a better understanding, so that's why they say, were you born this way? Did you become this way? At the end of the day, if they choose to be or they were born gay, in their eyes, they're gay. So you should see them as such. But I think the debate, I think is a better word, whether you were born or not born, or you choose or not to choose. it's all a personal thing, and I think that no matter what it is, whether you're born or you choose, I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing, and I think that people just want to have a better understanding of it. And it's not so much of a fight, and not even a debate. It's just wanting to know and to understand it a little bit better. At least that's what I'm hoping.
Okay. Do you think we're naive? We don't understand
We
us
don't.
as right. We just don't understand
Um,
you.
we're naive to a lot of things. I'm naive to your life because I don't know your life. You're naive to mine because you don't know my life. We as people are naive to the things that don't affect us.
How can we make it better?
We can make it better by basically when we meet somebody that's different, sitting down and, becoming their friend and talking to them, letting them express themselves. We don't want to do that intentionally, but if you meet somebody, in your life, don't don't overlook them. There's a reason why we meet people each and every day, whether it be just for a short time or a long period of time. I think I think we as human beings have a lot to offer one another, if we just sit there and just listen,
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, if we do that, I think we would all get a better understanding of each other, and life would be a little bit easier.
More better, right?
Yeah.
So have any doors closed for you in the job business?
No, they haven't. I've had many jobs. I've been a hairdresser for 32 years.
Awesome.
Um, it's been a wonderful career. In that environment, it was a good environment for me
You
to.
do an amazing job.
Thank you.
By the way.
Thank you. But I've had other jobs. I've worked at banks. I've worked for big companies doing international sales and marketing for them. Right now, I have a second job besides doing hair. I work in retail, and I love that job as well. So I've had many jobs, and I've never applied for a job that I haven't gotten.
Okay.
Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Whatever job I applied for, I got. So I don't feel like I was rejected by any employment because of my sexuality.
Yeah. I think it's also your attitude. You're very positive and you're a very kind person.
Thank you.
You're very nice.
Thank
Very
you.
nice person.
Thank you, Natty. I appreciate that. I can be mean sometimes.
I think we all can be mean sometimes. They look for us, they find us. Jose, a few just last questions. What advice do you give to young people out there that don't know how to express or how to communicate that they're gay to their family member? What advice do you give them?
The only thing that I can say towards that is that, if you feel that you are different, if you feel that you are gay, if you feel like you're part of the GLBTQ community, I just want to say that it's okay to express yourself. Okay. I would never want anybody to feel like they can't express themselves because that kills the soul a little bit. Find somebody, if you can, to talk to. Even if it's just your friend, different people go through different stages of their life at different times. So whatever friend that you have at that moment, don't keep anything from them. Express yourself to them because just by saying it, it relieves a lot. So yeah, basically my advice would be go on with life, be who you are, express yourself in a positive way,
There you go.
and tell whoever it is that you want to tell. Tell them now because you might not get the chance to tell them tomorrow. If you're afraid of coming out, if you're afraid of expressing yourself, then talk to God. Talk to, He's the higher spirit, or talk to your higher spirit. You know, as a kid, like I said, I was lucky. I don't know if lucky is the right word. I was blessed, to have the life that I did. Not all children are blessed like that. But there's always going to be that one friend that you can talk to.
What if they reject me? What do I do?
Well, if they reject you, then I think at the point of rejection, you have to help them understand you. Okay? Don't just leave it at a rejection.
Okay.
Express to them how you feel, why you feel it, when you feel it, Don't just let it die at, they rejected me. Let's say if you come out to your parents and they reject you, I think that if you talk to your parents, if you talk to your mother and father, you're part of them. If they reject you for a little bit, you help them understand your life. You help them understand you. Don't throw things at them, Don't throw your feelings or your emotions at them. That's not the way to do it. You have to sort of talk it through and, and see if you guys could come into a good understanding of who it is that you are and what it is that you want, and then they can allow them to express themselves also. People, besides just parents, they have expectations on other people. We can't do that. We can't put expectations on other people, whether you're gay or not gay, whether you're coming out or not coming out, whether you are the person giving the information or receiving the information. You have to open yourself for conversation, and you have to open yourself to being able to listen to the other person when they express themselves.
Very good. Thank you. Okay, so where can people find you? Do you want them to follow you on Instagram or anywhere, or do you rather not, or also to maybe go visit you? You're a great hairdresser.
Well, again, thank you, Natty. I don't do too much of social media. The only thing I have is Facebook, and I like to keep it that way because I don't like to plaster my life all over the place. Yes, I like to post pictures, when I look pretty or whatever.
Okay.
But I do work at a hair salon. It's called Paris Hair Salon. I'm only there on Saturdays.
Okay.
It's on the north side of town off of Airline and 45.
Okay.
Paris Hair Salon. You can find me there on Saturdays.
Okay.
The one thing about doing hair is I only do it on Saturdays because little by little I'm going to be transitioning into my other job that I have.
Okay.
Maybe once you get to know me, I'll tell you the other job that I have, but until then, we're just going to keep it at that.
Jose, anything else you would like to say to the community?
Yes. Like I said, what I expressed today was my opinion. It's not per se the opinion of the whole GLBT community.
Okay.
I am part of that embodiment, but we are all different people, so we all think different. Okay, so I want people to understand that this has just been, my opinion,
Right.
because I don't want people to say, well, that's just your opinion. Well, I said that, I said it was just my opinion,
Exactly.
And moving forward, I want to live in a better world.
Okay.
Okay, and I think that if we all do take a little bit of time to analyze our lives and see what we can offer, not so much what we could take from people, but what we could offer other people. If you live life like that, maybe life will be a little bit prettier.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much, Jose, for your time. And
You're welcome.
we're going to talk again.
Yes.
Thank you.
Anytime, Natty.
Thank you.
I love you, Natty.
Love you too.
Bye-bye.